this offense for the Red Sox that had just been anemic. This is what makes capping baseball so fun, is you have a team who has been held to 3 or fewer runs in 9 straight games, and then they explode to get a touchdown and score the extra point. 7-1 win against the Royals last night, Marco. Now we got Waka Waka heading to the mound for the Royals, looking to prove that was maybe just a fluke. Do you think Waka and the Royals do just that, or do you think maybe that was a sign of things to come here for the Red Sox? How are you looking to bet the game here tonight?
Now, I'm going to look to Kansas City to get this one. And there's no question, this is a team that's not scoring runs either, Kansas City. But they got Michael Waka on the mound tonight. And Early's been good for Boston. He's made 9 starts, and he's allowed 3 runs or less in 8 of them. In 4 of those, he's allowed 0 or 1 run. So this could set up as a pretty good pitching duel because Michael Waka's been just about as good. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 7 of his last 9 starts. 4 of them, he allowed 0 or 1 runs. But what I'm going to go with is I trust Michael Waka a little bit more. Is Early continues to pitch and people get to see him more, I think we'll start to see a regression with him. Michael Waka, proven veteran. Yeah, he's on, probably the backside of his career, but he is, what you're going to get with him. He's going to go 6 or more innings, and in fact, 4 of his 9 starts this year, he's kind of a throwback to the old days. He's gone to 7 innings or more. You just don't see that with starting pitchers anymore. All the managers use the cookie cutter game plan where you pitch 5 innings and then they get them out of there, and you use a guy in the 6th and you use a setup guy in the 7th. It's ridiculous the number of pitchers that managers want to use on a nightly basis. And one of the reasons why I like to look at a lot of first 5 inning wagers, because you know what you're going to get. But that's the exception with Walker. He will give you those extra innings. And throughout his career, he's been a dominant home pitcher. When he takes the mound, his team in home starts through his career, how about this? 95-55. That's a pretty impressive number. Then to put that into even a better context, when the line's been minus 125 to plus 125, so basically we're talking about coin flip games, you would think that his percentage would drastically change. No, he's 41-20 at home in games that are supposed to be coin flip games. You're winning, 2 out of 3 every time you're taking the mound at home in a coin flip. Yeah, that's a pretty solid number over the career. I'm going to look for Kansas City to get the job done tonight. Give me Kansas City and Michael Waka. And this is one of those ones where I definitely specify pitchers. I want to make sure we don't get a last minute change. I want Michael Waka on the mound.
Waka Waka it is by Marco D'Angelo. Marco, 2 teams that are in quite different current form is what you have here in this next matchup. One team that's gone 2-8 over their last 10. They're staring 4 straight losses here in the face are the Chicago Cubs. And the Brewers, man, they've been looking great. 10 of their last 12 have been dubs for the Brewers. They're looking to go against the sweep here on the Cubs, the home side. Do you think the Cubs finally can punch back a little bit here? What do you think about this pitching matchup and how this final match, as the Brewers are looking for the sweep here, shakes out?
There's no question. You say two teams going in opposite directions, and Milwaukee's doing it, with their pitching. They've held 6 of their last 7 opponents to 3 runs or less. You continue to do that, you're going to win baseball games. And as you touched on the Cubs in that 2-8 slide over the last 10, let's be fair though, and let's look at those 10 games. They played the red hot Atlanta Braves on the road. Then they had that series against crosstown rival, the White Sox. Okay. And the White Sox surprisingly are playing well right now. And, that is this, a series, it when we just had last weekend, rivalry weekend where you had the Mets and the Yankees on stuff. The White Sox are the little brother, just like the Mets are the little brother to the Yankees. And I always talk about the little brother gets up for big brother when they're playing. So that was a tough series for them. And then who do they draw next? Red hot Milwaukee. So on paper, it looks like you just want to take Milwaukee. But given the strength of schedule that the Cubs have played, I'm going to give them a little bit of pass on this slide. And I'm going to look for them to get the job done here tonight, because I know it's a game in the middle of May. You don't want to say, games are, bigger games than others. But anytime you play a division rival, especially one you think you're going to be battling with to win the division, you do not want to get swept. Well, you don't have to be, a math expert to realize the difference between 1-2 in a series and 0-3. Okay. It's a big swing in the standings. So the Cubs are going to, they're going to be focused. They're going to bring everything they got. And the Cubs have played well at home. This is a team, they're 18-6 on the season at home, trying to avoid being swept against a division rival. I think it sets up for the Cubs to find a way. Both pitchers are, pitching well. Obviously, Kyle Harrison's been a nice surprise, but Cabrera, he's allowed 3 runs or less in 8 of his 9 starts. I think he's going to keep them in the game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cubs to find a way to win this one tonight against the Brewers and avoid the 0-3 home sweep with the Cubs tonight.
Yeah, and Marco, before we talk about what you have up, I would also add that this is the first time in May that the Cubs have not sat in first place, and it happened against the division rival with a 5-2 loss. Talk about a pissed off clubhouse there in Chicago. Yeah, I think maybe a bit of a motivational edge. So I was looking towards this one. This was on my short list as well. So I'll co-sign that one with you there, Marco. WT.buzz/MD. What do we got rocking over there, Marco, for the potential clients?
Well, we've got a big play going. We got a 5% play, guys. Last time I was on this show, it was that Minnesota team on a Saturday. That was 2 weeks ago. You guys know that I don't release a lot of 5% plays. We've hit 7 of our last 8 5% plays across all sports. But guys, I'm going to give you a number here. And I had to even double check this morning because I hadn't released the 5% in the NBA all year. And I had to look back at my record. Going back to March 31st of 2021, I've only released 12 5% plays in the NBA. I'm 11-1 with those 5% plays. Ooh. And it's a situation where I've got to play. It's not tonight. It's tomorrow. I'm telling you about it now, and I'm going to tell you to get the play now, get the best of the number. Head over to WagerTalk.com. You can pick that game up, $35 for the 5% play. But that would be silly. Buy a 3-day package right now for $49. You'll get all my plays tonight. You'll get all my plays on Thursday. You'll get all my plays on Friday. And that would include that 5% play tomorrow night. Head on over to WagerTalk.com or go directly to my homepage, WT.buzz/MD. Take advantage of that. We're on a 7-1 run with the 5% plays over all sports. And if you want to just go NBA, go back 11-1 on that run. We are the number 1 NBA handicapper in money won, 191 units since 2020. What can I say, guys? I hope this one is as easy as that 5-2 Minnesota win over Colorado 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Marco, and like you said, 5% is going to cost you $35. You can get 3 days if you want some action all weekend long for $14 more. So it's a no-brainer. But you can go to WT.buzz/MD and you can get all the details there. We also have action. If you want 30-day passes, you got that $100 off. You get an extra 10 days for free. If you like the longer-term stuff, we also have year packages as well. So a bunch of different options. But hey, if you want the 5%er, spend 14 extra bucks and grab that 3-day all access. And you'll get to celebrate alongside Marco as he's cashing. And then he goes and celebrates his wedding this weekend. Marco, appreciate you switching days. We love having you on. So we appreciate you moving some things around. Best of luck on the play. Best of luck at the wedding, man.
All right, guys. Have a good one.